Good afternoon, everyone. We begin today's ceremonies by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We ask you to remember the children lost because of the residential school system, the survivors, the descendants, and the communities impacted across this land, and to hold them in your hearts with respect, support, and caring. It is an honor to have Chief Andrea Paul join me today in announcing this exciting initiative being launched by Glenhaven Manor and Pictou Landing First Nation. We are also delighted to have representatives of residents, our team, our board, municipalities of Pictou County, and our province. Welcome all. It is with great pride and excitement that we introduce a national initiative in support of Every Child Matters and the First Nation, Métis, and Inuit peoples. With the blessing and endorsement of Pictou Landing First Nation, the residents and staff of Glenhaven Manor are calling on every Canadian to gift $1 each to assure the Indigenous children who never returned home from residential schools are found, have their spirits freed, are buried with dignity, and that healing is supported. Monies can be e-transferred to a special account that has been set up only for this purpose, with all funds distributed to officially designated organizations across the nation that support these communities and survivors. Such organizations will be selected with approval from the Nova Scotia Assembly of Mi'kmaq Chiefs. All monies collected will be announced through the campaign and reported to Pictou Landing First Nations as well as to the Assembly. We are asking Canadians to come together to make a gift within their means as a symbol of unity, peace, and friendship. We here at Glenhaven, along with many Canadians, are reflecting upon the changes that must happen and what it means to truly support Every Child Matters. Your children were stolen, and generations of Indigenous people were robbed of future elders. At Glenhaven, we are very much aware of this because we have the honor of providing care to our residents, our elders. Profound sorrow and anguish are being experienced by Indigenous peoples, and we must respond, united with respect, but also with conviction. We want to be part of that change. It is what we all must stand up for. It is beyond heartbreaking, and words are no longer enough. In response to the unfolding revelations regarding the travesty of the children taken to residential schools and the outpouring of care and commitment across all provinces and territories, we must all play a part in ensuring that we are on a path of dignity, human rights, and justice for all. We encourage unity and commitment to enact strong steps toward truth and reconciliation as individuals, communities, and as a country. Here at Glenhaven, we live the values of respecting every lifetime while appreciating and celebrating diversity. We are so very proud to have staff representing a kaleidoscope of 14 countries in our work family and growing. We are grateful for the friendship and collaboration with Chief Andrea Paul and Pictou Landing First Nation and wanted to offer them more than just words. $1, one Canada. It is a way for anyone who wishes to offer support and strengthen their care through a collective impact. There is potential to make a $38 million difference. Glenhaven is pleased to launch the fund with a $500 gift on behalf of all of our residents, tenants, and staff. But I know that there are many, many individuals across our organization who are just waiting to make their own additional contribution. Those wanting to contribute to $1, one Canada, may e-transfer their gift to special projects at glenhavenmanor.ca, and this information will be available on our website as well as both Glenhaven's and Pictou Landing First Nations Facebook pages. $1, one Canada is a way for us to unite that is both concrete and symbolic. We are listening and learning more about the previous traditions and customs of Indigenous people across this land and their many contributions in all facets of life. We aspire for Canada to be its best. Every child matters, and $1, one Canada is part of a way forward. I would now like to call upon Chief Andrea Paul to deliver remarks and accompany me in this official unveiling of Every Child Matters, $1, one Canada.
Boy, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here today for this very special announcement. So, as you may or may not know, I am a daughter of an Indian residential school survivor. My dad attended the residential school. However, my dad's not with us today. I lost him in 2008. So I always made it, I guess, my pledge that I would learn more about Indian residential schools and do what I could to support our survivors that are still here with us today. And unfortunately, I didn't know my dad's story. And that's part of the pain that I got left with, was not understanding who he was or what he overcame, and I guess for a daughter of a survivor, that was really hard for me, and something that I continue to work through, and all the work that I get to do with our survivors helps me with my journey and my healing moving forward. So when Lisa and Kim contacted me to have a conversation about doing something, I was interested to learn more about what they were looking to do. And I think that we're in a time in history where we want to see and do better. I know when the news of the 215 children were announced, it really hit hard for a lot of people. I know for me, it took me a couple of days before I could even grasp that finding, that information. And so in Pictou Landing, what we did was a project on the flowers and lights. And it was a way for us to commemorate and honor those children that didn't make it home. We also knew that this was going to be the start of more findings of our children being in these graves in other residential schools. And so we now know that the number is well over 1,000 children so far that have been recovered in these grave sites. Some are mass burial sites and some are unmarked graves. It took me until, you're trying to work through this. You think about the survivors that you still have. In my community, there's still 5 survivors that are left. Their grandmothers, their grandfathers, and their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, their community members, their elders. And I couldn't even imagine what they were going through as all of this was coming to truth, I guess, because we all knew, it's in the TRC calls to action, that this was one of the calls to action, was to examine these schools and to find these children and to bring them home. So this announcement today, I really believe that it is a path forward in reconciliation. One of the things that I realized very quickly when we were doing our project was a lot of people wanted to learn more and wanted to do something. They wanted to be a support. And the response that we received in PLFN was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming. I remember when I was collecting flowers, I literally had to stop, because my emails and the email transfers that I was receiving was just, I was very emotional about it. And so I know that we all have a chance to change this legacy, to turn this legacy around and to do something so that we heal from this, because we need to heal from this. We still live with this today in all of our communities. And we often say we are all descendants of a survivor because we know someone that has attended the Indian residential school. And so we're all working through that together. So this initiative today allows everyone that was trying to find a way where they can be a support. $1, One Canada allows each and every person to contribute to a new legacy. And for that, I am so grateful for Lisa for reaching out and coming up with this idea. I'm so appreciative, and I had speaking notes, which I didn't use. I'm good. And I guess I'll end with that. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for being here today. And I look forward to everyone taking part in $1, One Canada. Let's make a difference. Let's bring our children home. Let's heal our communities. Let's support our survivors that are still here with us today. Thank you. Walalio, I'm sit.